Hello and welcome to English Digest.
I am Sam.
And I'm Angeline. So how are you guys all doing today? How are you doing, Sam? Do you have any plans for the Chinese New Year holiday?
Yes, I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah.
What are you going to do? You have a vacation planned or something?
Yeah, I will probably stay at home.
Okay. A staycation.
Yeah, and PlayStation.
You're going to play PlayStation.
Yeah, geez, I haven't got the chance to play video games for a while. Other than that, I don't know. Any suggestion?
I would agree with the video games
Yeah.
because it's true. Once you're an adult and you're working, you don't have time for video games.
No.
Especially not like PlayStation and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would probably have to take a week off to
play.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you're still looking for ideas on how to spend your 6-day break, apparently it's 6 days, right?
Yep.
Might I suggest a camping trip?
Oh, a camping trip.
Yeah, I mean, it can be quite a lot of fun being in nature, cooking your food over a fire. But I'm really also suggesting this because I took a quick peek at the pictures for our writing exercise today, and the topic is about camping. And it kind of made me want to go camping, maybe during Chinese New Year.
Yeah, I mean, camping is not really my thing, but that's right. There's an article and see if it can change my mind.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. You're not an outdoors person.
No.
And you're afraid of the heat or like hot temperatures. But during Chinese New Year, which is in January this year, I think it'll be kind of chilly.
Yeah, should be good. Go to the mountains and
a nice time to go camping.
Go away from all your electric devices.
Exactly. Unfortunately, you probably can't play PlayStation when you go camping. But anyways, this month's writing exercise consists of a series of 3 pictures, okay? The 4th picture is a huge question mark, which means you get to decide the ending. Now, along with the pictures, you will also be given a short written prompt to guide your writing. You should read these instructions carefully so you know what you have to do for this writing task. Let's take a look at our writing prompt today.
好，提示呢，请仔细观察右方3幅连环图片的内容，并且想象第4幅图片可能的发展。我们今天呢要写出一篇120字以上的文章，文章需涵盖连环图片的内容，并且要有一个完整的结局。
So in this writing exercise, we have to write a 120-word essay based on a series of pictures. It's important to pay close attention to how the pictures relate to one another because the essay must touch on the content of all 3 pictures. So you can't just write about the first picture and the 3rd picture.
No.
You need to write about all the pictures, okay?
Yeah.
You will also have to come up with an ending for the story. Now, we have quite a lot of flexibility for this writing task because there really is only one specific thing we need to keep note of, and that is the essay should have no fewer than 120 words, okay? So take a moment to study the pictures carefully and to jot down what you see, like the characters' facial expressions, their body language, the surroundings, and other important details you notice, okay? For example, the story is set in a place where evergreens grow, which actually can be found all over the world.
Yeah.
But we can look at what the characters are wearing and decide the season. I would say it's likely autumn because we can tell it's a bit chilly, but they're not wearing a coat. And the man is even wearing short sleeves, so it's probably not winter. Or maybe it's winter in Taiwan because it doesn't really get that cold in Taiwan, during the winter. We can look at the surroundings and decide these people are camping in the wilderness as opposed to like a designated camping area because we don't see any facilities around them. Now, the pictures are open to interpretation, so there are no wrong answers as long as it's logical, okay?
Yes.
So you don't want to say that there's an elephant, they encountered an elephant because there was no elephant in the picture, right?
No. 好，所以呢，注意到我们文章呢要有合理的情节，所以呢就要特别留意观察图片里面的细节来设定你的故事的背景，你的故事的情境。然后呢，用这些细节来编写这个故事哦。然后注意到呢，我们的这个提示呢，有要求除了这个120字以外呢，还有要求到说你要涵盖到呢每一张图片的事情，所以你不能只能讲，比方说第1张图跟第3张图，第2张图没讲 ，OK， 那就不行。那观察这个图片的细节哦，要怎么观察呢？在这边呢 ，Angeline 就提醒大家了，比方说呢，你可以看他们穿的衣服来推测呢是发生在什么季节，然后呢，你可以看看它的这个周遭环境，你可以知道说，哦，这个可能不是一个设计好露营区，因为它是在野外，看起来好像没有什么，比方说水龙头啊、厕所这种设备好像都没有。那像呢，比方说我就看到呢，这个天上有星星，所以我就知道说，哦，第1张图呢应该是晚上了，准备要睡觉了。而不是呢，这个他们天亮刚起床要离开帐篷。OK， 那如果呢，你要说天还没亮就要出门，其实也可以哦。在这边呢，我们刚刚讲到了，没有这个错误的答案，只要合情合理，符合图片的描述呢，那就可以了。
That's true. They might have woken up really early before the sun rose.
Yes, they could be.
Yeah, and then they're getting ready for their day. Okay, so picture writing essays are narrative essays, which means you are telling a story, okay? So the focus of a narrative essay is the plot. So you should tell the story with enough detail to build to a climax. Now, an effective narrative would include vivid descriptions and sensory details to involve the reader and allow the audience to put themselves in the character's shoes.These details will also help you support your statements or arguments.
好了，看图写作呢，我们就是要写一篇故事了。所以呢，要讲一个故事，一个好的故事呢，就需要有完整的情境设定跟很多的细节来帮助读者入戏。所以呢，观察图片细节呢，不是只是用来呢这个编故事，同时也要记得呢，在文章里面把这些细节带到，帮助读者呢更了解故事剧情的发展。那大家呢提醒，除了这个描述细节之外，大家也可以多使用一些形容词，比方说呢，这个天气是怎么样的冷，比方说呢，他看到这个恐龙是怎么样的惊吓等等，用一些这个形容词描述他们的感觉可以呢让这个读者更加的入戏。
That's right. So let's think of what steps we need to take to write the story. Like I mentioned earlier, it would be helpful to make note of what you see in the picture, especially the small details. These details can help you come up with vivid descriptions that include all the 5 senses. You can think of a theme and decide how all these pictures will connect to tell the story. For example, we can see that the parents are sleeping in a separate tent.
Yes.
Maybe the kids requested to sleep alone because they wanted to prove they are brave.
Yeah.
Based on the parents' expressions, they don't look concerned. So wherever they are camping is likely quite safe, right?
There probably wouldn't be a bear or...
Yeah, because they let the kids sleep in their own tent.
好，所以呢，看到细节呢，我们就可以把这个图片你看到所有细节都把它笔记起来。等一下呢，在拟定大纲的时候呢，就可以依照你写下来的这些细节呢，来决定故事的走向了。比方说呢，你可以看到说，大人小孩呢是分2个帐篷睡。为什么呢 ？OK， 那再来呢，看看他们表情是紧张还是放松这些呢，其实都是我们在这个设定故事背景的关键。
As with any kind of essay, our essay should have an introduction, right? You need to set the story, and this is where those details you took note of come into play.
Okay.
Right in the introduction.
好，所以呢，跟所有文章一样呢，我们这个故事也需要一个起承转合。那在开头的地方，这个起的部分呢，我们最好一个开头 introduction 一句话就把这个故事的背景给交代清楚。例如呢，我就可以说小明一家这个周末去露营。OK， 这样简单的句子呢，其实就让读者知道你大概接下来要讲什么，已经把这个故事背景给交代清楚了。
You know this essay is going to be about the weekend.
Yes.
The camping trip during the weekend. Yeah. Next, you're going to write the body of your essay, okay? You're going to build up to your plot. For example, it was getting late and we had an early day ahead of us, so Mom and Dad put out the fire and we said good night. Just as I was drifting into sleep, I heard a noise. Perfect,
Okay.
right? That's a very
Yeah.
good introduction towards your body
Yes.
of the essay.
好，所以呢，我们这个开头已经讲完了，设定好背景，知道在干嘛了之后呢，我们呢就要看到这个文章主体文章主体呢就要讲我们故事发生了什么事情。你呢可以从这个比方说去睡觉那里开始讲，从第2张图片开始讲，然后带到整个故事的高潮。比方说像刚刚 Angeline 就说了因为呢我们明天还有很多行程，所以呢爸妈就把这个火给熄灭了，然后叫我们去睡觉了。然后当我要开始睡觉的时候呢，我就听到了一个噪音 OK， 我们就知道呢应该是这个故事的转折要出来了，马上呢我们可能就是要看到这个恐龙剪影的这个第3张图片了。
Okay, then you'll want to come up with a reasonable conclusion, okay? We see in the 3rd picture that the kids are terrified of the shadow. That looks to be the shadow of a dinosaur.
Yeah,
okay?
looks like
Yeah. That's not possible, right? Because dinosaurs are extinct. Or are they? Are they extinct?
Maybe they aren't.
Yeah, maybe they went to some forest and they're still thriving. The dinosaurs are still living there. Could the parents be making this shadow to frighten the kids? Maybe that's possible. Maybe the kids said they're so brave and they want to sleep in their own tent. And the parents are like, oh, yeah? Well, let's see how brave you are. So we must decide what happens next. And remember, the conclusion must correlate to the previous 3 pictures, okay?
OK， 好，所以呢，我们就看到这个转折之后呢，我们就继续来讲就是为什么看到恐龙？恐龙不是绝种了吗？还是恐龙没有绝种？其实呢，他们一直在这个山里面存活着。或者是呢，恐龙是这个爸妈假扮的吗？他们要出来吓这个小朋友都有可能 还是呢这个有其他东西，比方说这个树叶这个树干的剪影看起来很像恐龙等等，这个呢都是一个合情合理的解释，然后最后呢我们就给他一个结论。那注意到呢我们故事情节发展，无论呢你要怎么发展，无论你要怎么天马行空都可以，但注意到就是合情合理，你不能够就是讲说因为他看到了这个恐龙的剪影，然后呢打开这个帐篷出来，下一秒就开始讲说明天小明要考期末考了，这样 OK 这样就不行OK 这个结论就太奇怪了，所以呢我们记得合情合理，顺着我们图片的走向把这个结论写出来。
That's right. So it might be helpful to separate your essay into several paragraphs, okay? Some other things to keep in mind when writing your essay is to not give unnecessary details, okay? You don't need to talk about the school the kids go to or the color of the family van if they don't help the reader gain a better understanding of the characters.
Yes.
All this will do is make your essay too wordy and confuse readers. Your writing should be clear and to the point, so refrain from using complex words or sentence structures.
好的，所以呢在这边我们文章的提示呢没有要求大家要分段，但是呢建议大家可以还是呢把它分两段第一段我们讲开头跟文章，然后接到我们这个转折，那第二段从这个转折的地方开始讲，接到我们的结论，这就是一个很好的架构。那么再来，虽然呢我们刚刚都说要多描述细节，但是太多的不相干的就不用讲了，比方说呢我们这个主角他是上什么学校，他们家开什么车啊，这些呢跟故事没有关系的，我们呢就不用特别提到。另外呢我们也要避免怎么样呢用一些生硬的你不熟悉的字或是片语。重点呢我们要写这篇文章不在于你用了多厉害的文法或是多厉害的修辞，重点呢是你写的这个故事要让读者看得懂
That's very important, okay?
Yes.
It's important to keep the audience in mind. So some things that are clear to you can be ambiguous to your readers. I mean, think about it. You're thinking about this story in your head, so it probably all makes sense.
Yes.
But if you're missing some important details in your story, it might make it difficult for your audience to follow. So remember to describe the events in chronological order, okay? Don't jump from one event to another and then back again. This will cause unnecessary confusion.
好的，如果呢你没有把握的话呢，尽量我们是讲这个实际一点的状况我们可以加上这个形容词来描述他们的心情，来描述这个事情发生的状况，但是呢尽量不要讲一些太抽象的概念。那再来呢时间顺序上的建议也是顺的故事，我们从头到尾把它讲完就好。毕竟呢我们今天是一篇这个120字的作文，不像小说有一整本，你呢可以倒着说，跳回2周前等等所以呢我们就简单的把它讲完就好，让读者明白最重要。
That's right. You made a very important point. We only have 120 words,
Yeah.
so we don't have the freedom to write a long novel, okay? So narratives are usually told in the past tense, so ensure your tenses are consistent throughout the story. You can write the story in first person or in third person. And one more tip, okay? It might be helpful to name your characters so you don't have to keep saying the boy in the hoodie, the girl in the ponytail. It'll save you a lot of hassle, and you can save the word count for more important details in your story.
好，既然是故事就表示它是发生在过去，所以呢我们时态通常是使用过去式。那在这边呢建议你可以帮角色命名不然呢我们一直会讲 she 啊 he 啊 OK 这个穿帽 T 的这个绑马尾的很容易呢就搞混了，所以我们要特别留意咯。
Okay, so it's not easy to write a good story from the beginning to the end without some planning, right? Your thoughts will likely be all over the place and you might miss details that are key to your story. That is why you should create an outline. It can help us organize our ideas into paragraphs and ensures each paragraph is fully developed.
好的，刚刚有提醒了大家可以把这个看到的细节你想到的事情都记下来，但是记下来之后呢 OK 你呢就要好好的整理一下，把它串联在一起。这时候呢你也可以把我们这个大纲也准备好了。你大纲还有什么好处呢？记不记得刚刚我们在讲说呢尽量讲一些实际的东西，尽量用顺序把这个故事讲完。在这边呢你念好大纲之后，你就可以看到这个有哪一些细节你是不是没有提到，有一些重要的东西读者 miss 掉就看不懂的东西呢，我们在这个大纲这个阶段呢就可以整理一下，把这些重要的细节都把它列下来。
So let's take a look at the sample outline in the magazine, okay? Our first topic sentence reads, Owen and Claire were on a camping trip with their parents. Then the supporting statements are, A, they set up tents, made a fire, and cooked marshmallows. B, later they said goodnight to each other.
好的，所以呢在这边呢我们第一段落呢马上呢就把这个背景给设定好。他就说呢这个 Owen 跟 Claire 这两个人呢 他们跟他们的父母呢一起去 camping trip， 一起去露营了。那再来他们做了什么事情呢？他们 set up 就是呢他们把帐篷呢给架设好，然后呢他们 made a fire 点燃了萤火，然后呢 cooked 怎么样 marshmallows 这些棉花糖OK， 这个好像是露营一定要吃的东西。那接下来呢 later OK， 他们呢就互相道晚安就去睡觉了。那到这里呢都还没有出现爆点了，所以呢我们可以预期在第二段的故事应该呢就会出现转折咯。
Okay, so our second topic sentence reads, the kids stayed up telling scary stories. And the four supporting statements are, A, Claire told Owen that a boy-eating dinosaur lives nearby. Okay, they saw the shape of a dinosaur outside their tent. They were scared, but it was just Dad wearing a costume. Owen was angry until Dad let him wear the costume. That was what I predicted, was that the parents were the ones trying to scare the kids, And our conclusion, Owen had a great time running around being a dinosaur.
好，所以呢我们看到在第二段落呢果然就转折了。他呢就是小朋友在露营的时候呢就在讲这个恐怖故事scary stories，然后呢这个姐姐，我猜她是姐姐，这个 Claire 呢就吓她，就跟他说呢这个附近呢有一个 boy eating dinosaur， 有一个喜欢吃小男生而且还不吃小女生只吃小男生的这个恐龙对，住在这个附近啊。然后呢他们就看到有一个恐龙的剪影在外面，所以他就吓死了。原来呢只是这个爸爸在假装穿着这个恐龙的衣服要吓他。那欧文呢这个弟弟他就很生气但是呢后来呢这个爸爸让他穿这个衣服呢他就开心起来。那最后呢他们就 had a great time， 他们呢就在这个地方穿着这个恐龙的衣服玩得很开心。 Okay, it's a very sweet story.
It is. Except I don't know how many parents would think that that's okay for a parent to scare their own child. It could be traumatizing for them, right? Okay. So the outline really will make your writing your draft a lot easier, okay? So it'll help you figure out which places you need more information or which places you need to cut information. After you write the outline, you can kind of polish the draft and refer back to the outline to ensure the writing meets all the requirements, right? Outlines might seem like a big waste of time, but even the most famous writers take the time to create an outline. So you guys should do that as well.
好，所以呢拟定大纲呢就可以帮你看到哪个部分太多细节，哪个部分需要补充。那透过这个大纲呢可以让整体架构更完整。那很多有名的这个作家呢都有写大纲，所以呢记得你也可以写大纲咯。
Now, one more thing, don't forget to use transitions in your writing so you can carry the reader from one idea to the next, okay? Right now, we're going to take a quick break before we look at our basic sample writing. Basic sample. Owen and Claire were excited for their first camping trip with their parents. After they set up their tents, Mom brought out the marshmallows and Dad made a fire. They cooked the marshmallows until they were brown and toasty. They had so much fun. Later, the adults and kids went to their tents and said goodnight. The kids stayed up telling scary stories. Claire told Owen that a dinosaur living nearby liked to eat little boys. Owen didn't believe her, but then he heard a low growl. The kids looked up and saw the shape of a huge dinosaur outside their tent. Owen started to cry, thinking it would eat him. Claire yelled for help, but then she heard laughter. She unzipped their tent and saw Dad wearing a dinosaur costume. Claire thought it was hilarious, but Owen was angry until Dad offered to let him wear the costume. Owen forgave Dad after that and had a great time running around being a scary T-Rex. Okay, so it sounds like the parents might have been eavesdropping on their kids because he knew that Claire and Owen were telling scary stories, right? So a camping trip would certainly not be complete without a campfire, okay? The campfire keeps you warm, but it's also for roasting marshmallows. Okay, so marshmallows, it's a soft, white, sweet food made of sugar and eggs. It usually comes in a cylindrical shape, and some people put them on top of hot chocolate. It's called 棉花糖, right?
Yes.
But I believe cotton candy is also called 棉花糖.
Yes, because they are quite similar in a way. Both are white and fluffy, kind of.
Yeah.
So, okay, cotton candy 呢，就是 那种机器卷成一卷一卷的棉花糖，我们在园游会看到的那一种 OK， 它有一个很大的机器，然后会一直螺旋，然后你把竹签放进去变成一个棉花糖。那至于 marshmallow 则是呢你在超市里面会买到一包，它可能呢是白色或是呢彩色，有做成一个小花或是一个圆圆的 OK， 它是一颗一颗 QQ 的那种。那呢下次中秋烤肉呢我们也可以试试看来烤这个棉花糖。
Yeah, so sometimes when you're outside camping, especially in the wilderness, it can be a bit chilly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why people build campfires and gather around it to stay toasty. Okay, so to be toasty means to be comfortably warm.
OK， 所以呢，你去这个 camping， 你去露营的时候呢，你就会 set up 什么东西 campfire 就是萤火。那你在萤火旁边，你就可以这个 roast 这些 marshmallow 啊，或者是取暖。OK，toast 这个动词呢，它就有烤的意思。你可以想象一下 toast 吐司就是呢放在这个烤箱里面烤出来的。所以呢，人 stay toasty， 你呢保持这个温暖，就是把你自己烤得比较暖和，保持温暖的意思。
So this story has a happy ending,
yes.
right? No one gets eaten. And although Owen was angry at his dad for pulling such a prank, he forgave his dad. Claire, on the other hand, thought the prank was hilarious, okay? So if something is hilarious, it means it is funny.
OK， 所以呢，他们做了这个恶作剧 prank 就是一个恶作剧那 Claire 觉得这个恶作剧怎么样 ？Hilarious 就是很好笑，很闹That is a hilarious joke. OK， 这个是一个很好笑的笑话。
And finally, if you already know, T-Rex is short for Tyrannosaurus rex. Okay, it's one of the most well-represented dinosaurs because it's generally the species that is used to represent a dinosaur.
Yes.
You know, the one with really small
arms,
or hands. The one in Toy Story. I don't know what his name is. Is it T-Rex? The Toy Story?
T-Rex, the green one,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's a
wants
T-Rex.
Wants to have a hug. Wants to hug.
It's a very friendly dinosaur.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's take a look at our advanced sample. Okay. Advanced sample. The Grant family was on a camping expedition in the woods. They sat around the campfire, toasting marshmallows and making s'mores. They not only enjoyed the wonders of nature, but also bonded as a family. When it was time for bed, Mr. and Mrs. Grant got into one tent, while Tim and Lex shared the other. They bade each other good night and went to sleep. It was in the middle of the night that the children were awoken by a loud noise. Startled, they looked around. The moon was bright that night, and they saw the silhouette of a dinosaur's head on the wall of their tent. When the silhouette vanished, Tim wanted to go out and look for the dinosaur, while Lex tried to be rational and claimed their eyes had been playing tricks on them. Nevertheless, Tim told their parents, and later all his friends, what he had seen. The story spread, and soon the woods were full of people searching for the dinosaur. The mysterious creature has been part of local folklore ever since. Okay, so the Grant family went on a camping expedition. Okay, so the word expedition is just a fancy way to say trip. You can say we're going on a shopping expedition or a fishing expedition. An expedition is a short journey, usually made for a particular purpose.
OK, expedition 这个字呢，其实就好像 trip 旅行但是呢，我们中文通常会把它翻译的比较厉害一点，就像刚刚 Angeline 说，它是比较厉害的说法，所以我们中文也会翻译的，比方说像是远征啊、考察啊 ，OK， 我们通常会翻译成这种你有一个特别的目的而去进行的旅行，这样子。
Do you guys use that when you talk about shopping or fishing?
That would be like really exaggerated.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so some people roast marshmallows over an open fire and eat it by itself. Right? That's what some people do when they go camping.
Yeah.
Marshmallows are a big part of camping. Well, there are others who use roasted marshmallows to make another campfire treat. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's called s'mores. A s'more, S''M''O'-R-E, s'more, is basically a sandwich of roasted marshmallows and chocolate between graham crackers. So graham crackers are the outside, and then you put roasted marshmallow and a chocolate in between those two graham crackers. So when people go camping in Taiwan, is there a food that you must eat? Or do you guys eat s'mores as well?
I say those needle mushrooms for me is like something I would do when I'm doing barbecue.
Okay,
yeah,
barbecue.
I mean, I've never went on a camping trip, so yeah. And I have to say, like, I'm not sure if there's something you must eat, but one thing I really hate, when having a barbecue is chicken thighs.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
because you can never tell if they're cooked.
That's true.
Yeah,
They're kind of hard to cook over
so
an open
hard.
fire. Yeah.
所以呢，这边就要跟大家讨论一下，大家烤肉或者呢，你去这个露营的时候，有没有什么东西必吃或必烤？那在美国呢，这个 s'more 这个东西哦，我们是 S1撇M-O-R-E。s'more 呢，大概就是一种必吃哦，你去露营的时候必吃的东西。其实呢，它就是把刚刚的这个烤棉花糖呢夹在这个有涂巧克力的这个饼干这样子的概念。So sounds very delicious.
Yeah, it's very sweet as well. I don't think I enjoy it as an adult. Maybe as a kid I thought it was good, but I don't think I like it right now. Okay, the word silhouette is close in meaning to shadow. Okay, it's a dark image, a shadow or a shape that you see against a light background.
好 silhouette 这个字呢就是轮廓的意思哦，所以你可以想象一下，大家有没有看过这个皮影戏？皮影戏呢就是把这个东西照着灯在这个前面的这个布幕上面秀出来，那所以呢剪影呢我们就可以讲说 silhouette。Of
course, the first thing you would do if you saw a silhouette of a dinosaur, well, I guess the rational thing to do is to pinch yourself, right? To make sure you're not dreaming. So if you're being rational, you're trying to think calmly and sensibly. Okay, is it possible for a dinosaur to be outside your tent right now? I mean, they're extinct, right? So the rational thing would to not believe that there's a dinosaur outside.
OK， 所以呢，看到这个恐龙的剪影出现，大家应该都会吓一跳。但是呢，如果你这个理性的、仔细的想一下，应该就会知道，不对啊，这个恐龙应该已经绝种了。OK，rational 这个字呢，就表示是理性的。OK， 你呢不是这个当场就被吓昏，然后想说啊，真的有恐龙要来吃我了。OK， 这就是不理性的。理性的想法应该是说，不对，恐龙应该是已经绝种了，所以应该是别的东西我看错了，或者是有人想要吓我等等的。那已经绝种了，我们可以怎么说呢 ？OK，extinct 这个字就是绝种了，它呢是一个形容词。比方说呢，我们可以讲说 The passenger pigeon is extinct。OK， 旅鸽这种鸟呢已经绝种了。
Okay, and then we also saw the word folklores. Well, folklores are traditional stories of a particular area or country, okay? You might have heard of Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster.
Yes.
What are some folklores in Taiwan? Are there some like monsters or like
I think
creatures
a lot of them,
that people believe in Taiwan?
Yeah, I think a lot of them are based on like legendaries, like really old stories. And something like 林头姐.
Okay, what
does
it
most
look
of them are like scary stories. 林头姐 is like she wasn't treated very well when she was alive, so she probably committed suicide or something. I'm not quite sure, but normally the story goes this way. So after she dies, her spirits like haunted the area. And also I think there's a story about fish with a human face on it.
Okay.
Like someone went into the mountains and he fishing, he caught this fish and he roasted, he eat it, and when he was eating the fish, like suddenly the fish talks.
Oh my god. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's super scary. So it's nothing like Bigfoot or nothing cute about it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, if you were the kids, Sam, what would you think? Like if you were camping and you saw a dinosaur silhouette outside, what would be the first thing that comes to your mind?
I would probably be like super excited because when I was a kid, I have a thing for dinosaurs. I have this book about dinosaurs. I can remember each one of them, and I always bring the book with me when I was a kindergarten. So I would be like, oh, there's actually a dinosaur, that kind of thing. Probably.
So you wouldn't be rational about it, right? Okay, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I think this was a pretty interesting picture writing essay.
You
get to talk about camping, you get to talk about dinosaurs. Anyways, I think we've kind of helped you guys figure out how you're going to write this essay. I think we've had a pretty helpful lesson. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us today. This is Angeline.
This is Sam.
Goodbye.
Bye.